and everything like that. So thank you very much, everybody who commented on the last post I did when I was out on the islands. I'm back near my home territory. Spent a lovely time. Went and did some crabbing. I saw some friends who were in the Army as well as in the Marine Corps. Some of those who served with me, and it was really a an insightful moment. And I got a chance to do a lot more walking. As a matter of fact, my business partner and I went down to Pinckney Island. Now, if you've ever been in the Low Country, Pinckney Island is right outside of Hilton Head. It's a great walking trail. It's very scenic, a lot of birds and everything like that. But you probably want to know, what does that have to do with marketing and how to be effective? And I'll get to some other points too, because this is really, really, really fun. So I told you I grew up in South Carolina. And for a place, my brother currently runs a place. It's called Oyotunji African Village. You can Google it. It's an interesting, for those, if your mind is open and your eyes are open and you want to look at it, by all means, go there. It's more like I always have to tell people I grew up in a commune, because if I try to explain it to too many people, it goes down a weird bunny trail, and I'll sit there for 15 minutes trying to explain to them what exactly it is. But I'm down in Low Country, saltwater marshes, and my business partner, it is great. She is probably like freaking out because it was a little toasty, but it was a great walk. We did see a snake, I think, or at least the remainders of a snake and everything like that. And it brings me to a point about marketing that is very low tech, and I've discovered it almost by accident. And I'm going to do another one today. And it's sort of like the one-on-one. Now, when somebody says, "Hey, you want to come and let's do a one-on-one? Let's talk with each other. Let's try to learn a little bit more about each other's business." And it's not one that you often think about if you're not in a networking group. If you're in a chamber, or you're in BNI, or you're in some other business generating environment, you may not be accustomed to it. And because of this is COVID season, it's made it a little challenging for folks to say, "Let's sit down and have a coffee at a coffee shop." Many of the coffee shops are out of business, or they're shut down, or they're temporarily closed. And I discovered something that I've been doing for years, but I discovered a different way to do it. And it's not for everybody, because not everybody has this capability. But for those who do, you can do the walking version, which is have a meeting on the walk. It's called a walking meeting. And that's very well. I've done that many, many years around through downtown, my town. But how about a biking meeting? And I have another one scheduled for 4 o'clock this afternoon. Do you know the difference between, having somebody ride with you? There was once I was watching a movie, and it said, this is a different story, but it said, you don't really know the person until you fight them. And that was probably one of those martial arts movies, which I love. But you don't know the person until you ride with them. You don't know them until you're walking with them. You don't know them until you've spent some time with them, not in a business environment. And you'll discover what they are like, because when they're writing, they're not trying to impress you. They're not wearing a suit. They're not wearing, the latest and greatest fashion. They're not trying to give you their resume. They're just writing, and you're discovering the different things that you can work around or you can work with. So consider that path. As with COVID season, and it's going to get cooler sooner, and some of you might be tempted to stay inside. The health professionals say that's the worst thing you can do. Don't go inside. Try to stay outside as much as you can. Even if it's a little chilly, just bundle up. If you're in Minnesota, or in one of those colder parts of the world, if you're in Canada, it might be a little bit challenging to do that, but do it as much as you can. But if you can ride your bike and you can meet somebody, by all means, go ahead and do that. This, by the way, is one of the best seasons to do it, because it's cooler, and some people may be, if you're in Florida or Arizona or southern Texas, it might be a little hot for you. But that aside, now I'm going to shift gears a little bit, because I wanted to bring up something that many of us have participated in along the way. And because this season, the government has got involved with helping small businesses either grow or, that's my mom. She always does that. I have no idea why. She always calls me when I'm doing this. But if I call her anyway, that's a different story. Just moms. I love my mother. But I'm going to put a note to say I'm going to call her back later. Is the government invited some small business. Not every business do it. You had the PPP, and then there was other grants and other loans and all kinds of different programs. And those were we participated in it. Many of our business colleagues participated. As a matter of fact, without those, it would have been very difficult for many of our businesses to stay afloat. And some of them are, they're on life preserver right now. And I understand and totally get that. And that's going to be the reality for now. The government has another round of it, and our city has another round. And I suspect your city has the same thing. Now, what happens, say, in a year and a half to 2 years? What happens after all this emergency things clears up? What happens when the government or your community or your municipalities go back to normal? What's going to happen? Now, I said this before in a previous broadcast that there have been 62, no less than 62. I don't know, since the last time I checked, there were 62 changes to the tax code. And whenever the tax code gets addressed, it gets changed, it gets modified, that means somebody is getting a bill pushed forward. So the bill is getting pushed forward. So somebody has to pay for all this PPP. Somebody has to pay for all these forgiveness. Somebody has to pay for all these things that the government is telling you can't, that we're going to help you out. We're going to keep you afloat. The government does that to sustain the economy. But down the road, you better believe that the tax man and the tax mistress, or the tax missus, tax woman, whatever you want to call her or him, is going to come back down the road. And if you do not prepare for them to come down the road, it's like not preparing for the rain, because it's going to come. If you don't have a roof over your head, you're going to get wet. The government will come back later. It's going to come back. Now, if you've been using some of those incomes, some of those PPP and all those different things for sustaining your business and paying your employees, you should also be using some of that for marketing, because marketing expands. If you're not marketing, you're dying. New blood in your business is what keeps you moving forward, because some people are going to go off the back end, meaning they're going to either move away or they're going to no longer be a part of your organization, but you got to keep on marketing. Now, I said this before, there's no other person that I trust as far as tax law for small businesses than this individual. I have my own personal accountant who keeps our stuff afloat, but even they're not even aware of some of the other tax benefits, and even some of the tax traps that are out there. And I say tax traps, they're not really traps, but they're more like things that you may not be aware of. With 62 changes, it's even hard for a tax accountant to keep track of that kind of stuff. But again, I said there is no one else I trust more when it comes to small business tax, and that's it. That's all they care about is small business, and more specifically, you might even call them garage businesses. Some might call them home businesses. Some might be called them small brick and mortar, mom and pops. No matter what you call it, if it's a small and it's an owner-operator meaning you or somebody in your family or somebody, they own the business, but they also are there in the day-to-day operation. We're not talking about people who are those, who own a business. They're investors who own a business, and they don't, those are like the McDonald people. They own the business, but they're not there to day-to-day operations. Somebody else manages. This is specifically for those day-to-day operation business. If you own a restaurant, if you own a cleaning service, if you own, a lawn care business, if you're a law firm yourself, if you're an accounting firm, if you have a small and you're an owner operator, then this is for you. I know tax attorneys and tax professionals who are not even aware of this because their expertise is in somewhere else. And like anything, there's experts in every field. There are experts in the law. There's experts in medicine. There's experts in engineering. There are different categories, and there's a subset, which is small business tax, which this individual is really about. And they're doing, I think, another special because, again, things change. It's tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I get no money. I'm not promoting them. I'm not saying, I'm going to get some residual. No, it's not that. It's just that I know as small business owners, we don't always get the information, and we get it all secondhand because after all the big boys and big girls have basically got everything. You think I'm lying? Go to your big banks. They know everything long before you, and it sort of trickles down to you. If you're not aware of it, they'll take advantage of it, and you won't. So I'm going to post it on as soon as I can figure out what I'm doing. I'm going to post the website that you can go to, and it's at the bottom of it, there is a big yellow box. I looked at it this morning, and it says register for it. So there's some other stuff on there you can buy. I've purchased from them. I've taken their courses. I've done a lot of stuff with this individual who I respect because they are also small business owners. So they're helping themselves, but they're also helping others, and they bring in other tax professionals around the country to speak specifically to help you as a small business owner. So Go on there. It's a yellow box. It says register for the thing. Register for it. Sign up for their free mailers and whatever else they got up in there. It's totally up to you. But I would strongly recommend that you do this because there is a part in there, especially when it comes to marketing, and you'd be surprised. Case in point, and this might surprise you. I have a buddy of mine. I'm not going to tell you who they are. They got part of their PPP. It was a different program that they used as the second round or something. Their PPP gave them enough money for them to buy a new work truck. Now, they work in a specific industry, and they just wanted a work truck. Prior to this, and this is important about marketing too, it's two sides. They would go up to serve their customers in their own personally held vehicle. It was a nice vehicle. It's nothing wrong. But when they show up to the site, it didn't quite say you're a professional. It says you work from home and we can charge you whatever. Okay. It didn't say I'm a 7-figure business, which he is. It says I'm a guy who got a garage, an extra room in my garage. And when I come to you, I'm going to charge you those kind of my businesses in my garage. Nothing against business your garage. As a matter of fact, there's a hellacious amount of tax benefits. However, just because you work inside your office is your home, when you travel to your customer, it should not look like you work outside your home unless that's part of your marketing. His specific business works in industry which has a high dollar amount. His particular business that he targets, high dollar amount, but when he drives up in his personal vehicle to solve their problems, he doesn't quite look the part. And so what he did is he bought a van. What did he do with the van? He wrapped it in everything with logo, marketing. So now what used to look like a vehicle just for, and it was a used vehicle too, what used to be just, I'm buying a vehicle, now is written off as marketing. You get it now? He bought a van, wrapped it in logoed, now becomes part of his marketing, a different category, which the loan required them to use it for marketing. You get it? When you know, you deploy. If you don't know, you get raided during tax season. So when the tax man comes a calling down the road, he'll say, hey, X number of $1,000, I use it to buy a van to market my business. There it is. Plain and simple. It's right on the paper for the tax man to look and say, yes, it's a deduction. It's a legitimate deduction. Now, is he not going to use that van for other things he's private use? Move a friend, whatever he's doing with it? Yes, but everywhere he travels, his van is part of his advertising, his marketing deployment. That's what I'm talking about. Using your van, being smarter, not broker. Okay? So go ahead. I have it scrolling on the screen. Go ahead and register for it. It starts tonight. That's on Sunday. They usually do these on Sunday because they realize that most of us are busting our humps Monday through Saturday. I'm one of them. So go ahead and grab that. Thank you very much for all the people who made the comments last time and all the people who have been reaching out to me and asking me questions exactly about small business marketing, small business taxes, wills and estates. Trust me, I don't know all that stuff. But as they say in the military, you don't have to know everything. All you got to do is know where to get that information. And I have a large network of individual business owners who are my network. They're my subject matter experts. If I don't know anything about marketing, in specific a video, if I don't know anything about mailers, if I don't know anything about, Facebook marketing, if I don't know anything about anything, I don't have to know it all. I just need to know where to find it. And I can direct you to some of these resources. So thank you very much. Safe travels. Be good. Make a crap load of money. Use some of it, a lot of it, to enjoy life, but use some of it to support those communities and those services and those things that are near and dear to your heart, that are your passion, that you can serve your community. Because, hey, when you leave this earth, can't take it all with you. You might as well use some of that money for good. So use that part of that money for good. See you next time. Peace.